about love, yeah. Loving right and being loved right, yeah. So let's get snappy with substance.
I have something of great substance to share with you today, and I'm going to make it snappy, right?
Let's get snappy.
With substance.
Hello and welcome to Let's Get Snappy with Substance, where we learn precious love lessons from the Doctor of Love, Bishop Dr. Charles Hackman. Lessons that will enrich and empower you to succeed in your love relationships and marriages. So let's get started. Let's call the Doctor of Love for a snappy chat. Hello, Bishop.
Hi.
Thank you so much for taking time off your busy schedule to join us on Let's Get Snappy with Substance.
Great. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well. Please, how are you too?
I'm blessed.
In our last episode, you started a very interesting series with us. So we want to find out, what do you have for us today on Let's Get Snappy with Substance?
Well, thank you so much for having me.
Welcome,
I have something of great substance to share with you today, and I'm going to keep it snappy, right?
Let's get snappy.
Let's get snappy with substance.
The first one we looked at was the fact that the man or the woman must be a believer.
Yes,
and we talked about the fact that it is not only that they should be church goers, they must be a believer. Do they believe in what you believe in? If you believe in savings,
yes, sir.
is a person also a believer in savings?
Okay.
If you believe that in your house there should not be worldly music being played or profane music being played, is a person a believer in that?
Okay.
That's what I mean.
Yes, sir.
The person must be a believer.
Okay. Number
2, the person must be a person of covenant and not a person of contract.
Okay.
My dear, here's the thing. Marriage is either a covenant or a contract.
Okay, that's interesting.
In the legal parlance, there is really no difference between a covenant, a contract, and all that. But in the spiritual parlance, there is a huge difference.
Yes.
A contract says that I do my part, you do your part.
Okay.
Contract is what says 50-50. So you hear people say that you don't get into marriage with all your heart 100%, but you get into marriage with 50%, and then the person also brings 50%. That is contract. Contract is when you do what you must do because the person has also done what they must do, or the person will do what they must do.
Yes.
That is contract.
Okay.
According to scriptures, according to the literature of scripture, God did not create marriage for it to be a contract.
Yes.
But God created marriage for it to be a covenant.
Covenant. Okay.
Now, covenant is when you do what is right because it is right.
Oh, wow.
Covenant is when you do the best thing because under the circumstances, that is the best thing.
Okay.
Covenant is when you sacrifice when the other person has done nothing.
Yes, please.
Covenant is when you have said you will do this, and so you keep to your word.
Yes, please.
And you don't break it.
Okay.
When you are choosing somebody to date, when you are preparing yourself to marry somebody, you have to make sure it is not a person who believes in contract. Contract means that when I call you, it means you have to call me back.
Yes, sir.
When I send you a message, you have to also send me a message.
Yes, sir.
No, that kind of contract that is not God. And when you do that, it means that you are taking the God factor out of your marriage. You are taking the God factor out of your relationship.
Yes, sir.
Everyone within the relationship or within the marriage must realize that if you want God in the relationship, it must be a covenant. Now, God has a covenant with us. He doesn't have a contract with us. His covenant is that whilst we were yet sinners, he will still send his son to die for us.
Yes, sir.
Not because we did right. I know men who would only do right when their women do right.
Yes,
and I know women who would only say the right things to their men when their men do the right things.
Yes,
now,
sir.
that is contract.
Yes,
but it's important we understand that the covenant relationship is where God is. God is never in a contract relationship.
Yes, sir.
Let your yes be your yes Let your no be your no. If you are choosing somebody to get married to, somebody to date, the most important thing is to look out for somebody of covenant. The person says what he says, and he will do what he will do, not a contract.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. I hope that was snappy enough.
It was snappy enough. Thank you so much for sharing these precious lessons with us. Thank you, Bishop. God bless you.
Let's get snappy.
Let's get snappy with substance.
That'll be all for today on Let's Get Snappy with Substance. Till we meet again, always remember that love is best when it is wise.
It's all about love, yeah. Loving right and being loved right, yeah. So let's get snappy with substance.
Let's get snappy.
With substance.
A Fire City Chapel Media production.